Hey everyone, this is a market recap for Friday, March 27th, 2026. I'm covering the gap fill or the lack of gap fill. Market's still open. It's currently at 108, minus 108 points on the day. But I want to talk about Friday gap fills. And going in the morning, we knew that there was a 50% chance to achieve this target, which was 29 points away from the opening price at the opening bell. And it's a gap down. It's against the trend. It's counter trend gap fill play. So there's a 50% chance that that would fill. But we knew that the half gap would have around a 70% chance of filling just based on the open, based on the day. So that's what we did. We went to play with that. We entered on one of these smaller pullbacks pre-market around 86. Got out of two of them, of our contracts, half of our contracts after 5 points, and we're holding two runners, one for the quarter, one for the half. That didn't occur. We were stopped out at break even, and we did give it a few more chances in the room, which is what I discussed doing. So what I'm usually doing is I'm waiting for a green close on a 3-minute, and then I'm waiting for a pullback to retest that low. That's all I'm really doing. It wasn't running into any other resistance. VIX was, yes, the VIX was going up, but it was also before 10 a.m. So gave it another shot. We were in at 76 again, out of half at 81, out of one more at 92. Stopped out again on that last target. So I just took off at 92 because based off of where I entered, I wanted to make a little bit on that. And then I took two chances in the 60s here, both at about 66. It must have been over here. Got the free trade for 3 points, stopped out. Took one more chance here, free trade, stopped out again at break even. So, you know, this is a day where if you know that the full gap is a 50% probability, it's a coin flip, it might be a day to fade it. You could have used the pre-market high and you could have faded that gap all day. You could shorted it at the 88.6 to targets. Dip into lows, again 88.6 target. And what happened from there? Now, I wasn't looking for that, and I'm not a big shorter on the ES, but what you see is we hit this profit target, and then we never even retraced. So lows to low extension on the Fibonacci's. We saw a bounce at 2:45 Eastern, right into 50% retracement. Almost completed that profit target. 5 ticks away, 6 ticks away. Let's just say it's filled. Let's see what happens here. Now, how do we look for a move back into those gaps? First of all, this gap is going to remain open. So we'll keep that in mind for next week when there's a relief rally. We'll keep this one in mind. That one is still open. It has not filled. And what does that look like? So you could look at the break of this extension, and you could start to draw your next move up and wait for that retracement right around here. You know, you could wait for this break too if you want to be really conservative. But, you know, if you've broken that lows to low extension, you know there's going to be a bigger bounce, and you don't want to get in the way of that bounce, shorting that, just in terms of bigger time frame. You know, I'd say you have keeping in mind that we have that gap open. You know, you could see how you could run into that 70.2, which commonly will touch and reject. Fill this gap, and resume the downtrend if the VIX doesn't play along to 63.33. So we'll see how that plays out, and have a great weekend.